Welcome to you all in this online class. Dear student, as you know, today we will complete the some yesterday's topic under the that is mentioned under the chapter impact of British rule in India. Let me to recapitulate. As you know, the condition of education before the coming of British company was quite different. What was the condition in those days of education in India? Here you can learn. Actually, in those days, Pathshalas and Maktabs were the main centers of elementary education, I mean primary education, where the students were taught by the teachers to give them, to provide them basic knowledge. And other centers were tolls and madrasas, where the higher education was provided. No doubt, in those days, education was not uh, very wide, I mean widespread or not very high. The education area was limited. The subject of education was limited. Generally, the religious books and arithmetical tables were taught to the students in the primary section, I mean Pathshalas and Maktabs, and in higher education center, educational center, Sanskrit, medicine, law, logic, astronomy, etc. were taught, right? So in this, and the language that were used as the medium of language were generally vernacular languages in Pathshalas and Maktabs, and in higher classes or in higher education along with this language, Sanskrit, Arabic, Farsi, no, these languages were also used. So this was the condition of education in India before the arrival of British company or before the starting of company rule in India. Here two images are given. One reflects the Pathshala and other Madrasa. Madrasa, I mean for Muslims. In this way, this was the condition. Okay. Now next is now next. 1 minute. Stop. Let me to stop. Okay. Are you seeing the? Is it visible through your chat? You can tell me. Is it visible? Are you looking at? Are you listening to me? Hello. Are you listening me? Hello. Are you listening? Okay, okay. Thank you. Now listen me. So in this way, this point you have learned. Now, after that, what happened? When British came, he tried his best to change the system. There was purpose behind this decision. Actually, British wanted to start education for some important reason. First, he wanted to prepare a class of British supporter. So he implemented new education policy to develop the Western culture, adequate dress sense, and eating habits among some groups of Indians. Second, the British company wanted to create a class of main power, a class of clerks, right? A class of people to work in the offices, lower offices as a clerk, because it was not possible for them to bring all the hands, all the clerks or all the lower staffs from England. Next, he wanted to see a class group of people in India who can play the role as the entrepreneur or interpreter, who can explain the Indian matters before them, and their decision could be spread among Indians. So for this purpose also, new education policy was adopted in India by the British company to create such class. Some steps were taken in that period for the proper progress of education. These were the Charter Act of 1813, actions taken by Thomas Macaulay that I have taught yesterday. It created two groups in the support of two different kinds of educational group. Those were Anglicists and Orientalists, right? Those were, yes, same slide. So now these points yesterday you have learned. One by one we are going to know about it. This is Charter Act. Yesterday we have learned it. 1 lakh rupees was started. Hindu College was set up in Calcutta, the Elphinstone College in Mumbai. It produced the elite class, I mean upper advanced class of Indian who were English educated and supporter of the English, and they followed the Western etiquette, dress, eating and habits. From this slide, you should learn what actions were taken under the Charter Act of 1813 and what was its impact. So this type of question you can prepare from these slides, right? Now for your proper information, regarding the Charter Act, you should know, because it is not given from class 8 to 10. This is a matter of class 12. Although I do not want to teach you this topic, but you should learn what was the 1813 Charter Act or the Charter Act of 1813. You should learn, as per the student of class 8, that it had sanctioned 1 lakh rupees for the education in India. First, second, two colleges were set up, Hindu and Elphinstone College in Kolkata and Bombay respectively. It created the elite class in support of the British. That is sufficient. But here you should learn these were the things. Actually, according to the Charter Act, what Charter Act? Actually, Charter Act was an act passed by the British government to control the activities of the British company, which was growing fastly in India, and these actions were taken. This asserted the crown sovereignty. अब क्या हुआ, कंपनी से ज्यादा कंट्रोल क्राउन का हुआ, गवर्नमेंट का हो गया, हमारे इंडिया में होना शुरू हो गया. एंड डिफाइनिंग द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोजीशन ऑफ ब्रिटिश, आई मीन कंपनी का जो है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोजीशन जो था, उसके जो राइट थे, उसको कन्फाइंड कर दिया गया, कम किया गया. दिस एक्ट ऑल्सो empowered the local governments to impose taxes on the persons subject to the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. अब जो है टैक्स भी इम्पोज किया जा सकता था इस चार्टर एक्ट के द्वारा इन इंडिया. The European British subject was also the strengthened in India over the power of provincial governments and courts. I mean, European were given more power in India. Next, financial provision was made to encourage a revival in Indian literature and for the promotion of science, because these were the part of our education. This act also envisaged that missionaries can go and spread the Christianity in India. अब ये मिशनरी क्या है, मैंने कल बताया था आपको. These were the group of the Christians who set for the journey from Europe or England for spreading Christianity in other parts of the world, for example in India and in eastern countries. They were allowed according to this act. ठीक है, तो इसी को कहते हैं चार्टर एक्ट. Have you understood this one? Okay. This now Thomas Macaulay, ये भी कल मैंने पढ़ा दिया था आपको. He was the member of Legislative Council. He wanted to make Indians mentally slave. Slave कैसे बनाया है कि वो they wanted to make the Indians dependent on British culture, British knowledge, British qualities of education, as well as in culture also, right? It started the two groups, Orientalist and Anglicist. So sometimes question also comes, what do you mean by the controversies between Orientalist and Anglicist? And as you know, Orientalists were those group of people who supported the Eastern languages or Indian languages like Sanskrit, Hindi, and so on, so forth, as the medium of education. While Anglicists were a group of people who supported English as the medium of education. Okay, as the medium of education. So these were the two groups. Later on, who became the winner? Anglicist group, led by Lord Macaulay. Here, his picture is given. Lord Macaulay, who was the member of Legislative Council and well-known figure in Britain, he supported the Anglicist view. What does it mean? He supported this view that education in India should be given in English languages. English education started for a link and cheap manpower for the British. They wanted to make Indians British by their taste or in their taste, values and cultures, so that forever this group could support the British and British Empire could be strengthened continuously in India by the support of these local people or by the Indians. Okay. After that, Wood's dispatch action, Wood's dispatch was passed. Actually, this was a document prepared by Charles Wood, right? Prepared by Charles Wood. And this is Charles Wood. No, it was prepared by Charles Wood. Have you understood? It was prepared by Charles Wood to bring major changes in British education policy, right? For what purpose Charles Wood has created or formed this Wood's dispatch? For bringing change in, to bring change in the British education policy. Is it clear? Now, what was the main feature you should learn? Let us learn. What were the main features of the Oats Dispatch. This Oats Dispatch. First, it planned for a separate department for education. Second, three universities were set up in different presidency towns like Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras. You know, university means the head office of the college. Under a university, many colleges, number of colleges remains certain, but it differentiated place to place. And in this way, universities were set up for higher education for Indians. Next, he set up the teachers training institute like B.Ed colleges, right? The teacher training institutes were also set up to train the teachers so that they could provide the better education, quality based education to the students. And last main feature of this Oats Dispatch was they assisted or gave assistance, as it is written in your book. Here, assistance means help. The help was given to vernacular school, local schools. Through the local schools, primary educations were provided to the students in India, and all these actions were taken by Charles Old under his Oates Dispatch. So if question, this type of question comes generally 5 marks or 3 marks only. So these 3-4 points must be mentioned as the main features of what? Oates Dispatch. I think there is no difficulty in understanding. Have you got it? Got it? If any problem, you can send your views through your chat box. Now let me to go forward. So in this way, you have learned these main points, right? Next is the 4-5 points you must have to learn, and it will make your question like what are the main features of Oates Dispatch will make it very good, better. Now next is, yes, some students are chatting. Okay, very good. Now next is, next slide you are going to learn. Next is Hunter Commission. Mr. Hunter was the head of this commission group. He was appointed, I mean Hunter Commission was appointed to look into these 4 points. First, to look into, I mean to inquire, जांच करने के लिए क्या उस dispatch का सही रूप से implementation हो रहा है या नहीं. आपने देखा कि इम्प्लीमेंटेशन आई मीन उस डिस्पैच में क्या हुआ, कैटेगराइजेशन ऑफ एजुकेशन सेंटर्स हुआ, एजुकेशनल सेंटर हुआ, प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी, हायर सेकेंडरी. नाउ इन दिस वे, was it implemented in proper way or not? Second, to look into the matter or position of primary and secondary education, where was the education provided properly in primary and secondary education or not. Next, it also began to inquire the work of missionaries in education. What role were played by the missionaries in spreading education in India? As you know, missionaries' basic aim was no doubt to spread education. Christianity, but also set up educational center. Actually, by the help of education, they wanted to spread Christianity. So to spread education and Christianity were the basic aim of the missionaries, where they were doing these works properly or not, because before coming India or any other country, these missionaries had to get permission from the British government, and they were permitted to go. After coming in countries, I mean Eastern countries or India, where they were doing the work properly or not, this should be observed. And For this purpose, Hunter Commission was also set up. And now vocational training in secondary education. अब क्या है, वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग, आर्ट सिखाया जाता था. अब देखो वोकेशनल क्या है, जैसे मान लो आपको कंप्यूटर एजुकेशन हुआ, पेंटिंग हुआ, या कोई आर्ट है आपको सिखाया जा रहा है. जैसे आप क्या करते हो, साइंस कांग्रेस के लिए प्रोजेक्ट एक्टिविटीज, या हिस्ट्री में भी प्रिपेयर करते हो, ये कोई चीज आप बना रहे हो, जैसे अब हाउ मोबाइल शुड बी, मोबाइल ऐप शुड बी मेड, मोबाइल हार्डवेयर शुड बी मेड. So this type of vocational training was started in India by these acts. Now next is the Indian University Act. In 1904 it was passed. When you will read the book, you will read something different. Now, some more points that I have not concluded in it, but I am explaining here. Actually, Lord Curzon was not in favor to provide the higher education in India. Why? Because he used to believe that education provided in India was not in the interest of the British. This was the belief of Lord Curzon, right? Why? Because he used to believe that educational institution produce what? Political revolutionaries, right? He used to think these educated Indians were the political revolutionaries. वो राजनीतिक क्रांतिकारी थे. Those who disliked the rule of the British. Those who wanted to see the end of the British rule. And they were doing the revolutionary work. I mean, protest was done by them to the British. They protested the British, right? They are also taking violent activities against the British, right? So he was not in this favor. It is why he passed an act in 1904 to check the higher education in India, right? What was the basic aim? To check the growth of higher education in India. He was not in favor to provide the higher education to Indians. And having seen this action, Indians annoyed. They stood up against the British. They began to criticize this policy of Lord Curzon, and actually it also started resentment among the Indians, which prepared the base of freedom movement in India. In this way, all these actions were taken by Lord Curzon, and actually it was also the important. Now next is what? Wardha Education Scheme in 1937. Here you see Gandhiji started this one, right? And actually he opposed the British educational policy because he said it creates the inferiority and master-slave mentality among Indians. Why? Because in this education policy, it was reflected that the British wanted to make Indians their dependent or slave, गुलाम बनाना चाहते थे. ऐसी मेंटलिटी वो क्रिएट करना चाहते थे. कैसे? They used to say the people that their education, I mean Indian civilization was barbaric, uncivilized, inferior. And there, I mean the British culture, European culture was greater. So Indians should learn from the Europeans. And Gandhiji opposed this view. Now next, here I have written WEC. Here WEC means Wardha Education Scheme. What was its main purpose? It proposed a national education system to include morals like justice, discipline, dedication, sacrifice, respect, obedience. All these qualities were filled in such type of education that was proposed in Wardha education scheme passed in 1937. It was made by Mahatma Gandhi. After that, a new scheme was proposed that was National System of Education, which made education universal, compulsory, and free for all the children from or between the age of 6 to 14 years. And it was, what was its basic aim? Its basic aim was for to bring all-round development of the students, right? So these were the basic purpose in Wardha scheme, right? This was the main features of Wardha scheme and national policy. After that, some points are given there now in your book, and that is what? A positive impact or negative impact of British education. Have you understood? So you should see this one. If you have the book, you can see it now. It is written in your page number 136. Is it clear? Now you see here positive impact of the British Empire. First, British education policy or British system of education. Is it clear? British education. What were these one? These were, first point, what was? The English language united the people of different regions. People now rose above narrow-mindedness or narrow regional prejudices and started thinking of India as their motherland. What does it mean? It means before this education policy, India was divided into many parts, as we know. Actually, there was the different languages in different parts of India. There was not a single language which can unite all Indians. When the British started this language, I mean the English language, it created unity because the people of different areas, different states were getting education in this language. So it became very easier to communicate among them, and it brought the sense of unity among Indians, right? Among Indians. No slide I have not prepared. It is why I have not changed, because you have only 2 minutes. Let me to say this one because it is very easier in understanding. It is why I am giving stress over it. Okay. Have you understood? So you should learn this one first, and second, a surge of nationalism. I mean, a wave of nationalism is spread in all parts and all sections of India. What do you mean by uh, what do you mean by nationalism? Actually, nationalism is a feeling in which all the people of a nation feels that they are one. I mean, sense of oneness is felt on national scale by all the people. Right? Now you have written one question, Abhinav Anand. What is meaning of Viceroy? Viceroy means representative of the British Crown in India. As you know, in 1858, the name of the post Governor General was changed into Viceroy under the Office of State, Secretary of State, and Viceroy means representative of British Crown. Have you understood? Now, in this way, you have the sufficient time. If you can ask, you can ask something, ask your query. And first, one request, please, all of you, turn on your video option.